Thank you for staying with us. Now, for the first time in South Africa, political parties will have to declare who is funding their campaigns. This will come into effect on the 1st of April, ahead of local government elections. So for those details on how exactly all this will work out, we're joined now by the Independent Electoral Commission's Mr. Mamabolo. Mr. Mamabolo, thank you so much for your time. And that is the question, exactly what are some of, the admin and logistics around declaring, party funding? How will this work?
Well, as the Electoral Commission, we've indicated previously that we believe the commencement of the law marks an important milestone in the enrichment of our electoral democratic system. It's an important milestone in the evolution of constitutional democracy in South Africa. And at least two constitutional values are impacted by this development. Firstly, the value of accountability and the value of transparency. So all arrangements that have been made are essentially intended to realize those constitutional values. Now, at the practical level, there are two funds which are created in this new act. Is the public represented, political parties represented fund, which will be dispersing money from the tax base, from the national fiscals. And that money will go to political parties who have representation in the National Assembly as well as in provincial legislatures. And this has been part of our system indeed from 1997. Nonetheless, there is a change to the allocation formula from 90% proportional and 10% equity. Now, the new formula that comes with the new law is that 2/3 will be proportional and 1/3 will be equity. The second component of the Act relates to the creation of a multi-party democracy fund. The fund, this fund will also disperse money to political parties with representation in representative bodies. On the same allocation basis.
Right. If I could just jump in there, Mr. Mamabolo, because of time, understanding exactly how, the Act will work and sort of what advised, this decision to be made for party funding to be made more transparent and for accountability to take place here. I mean, I understand that voters will then be able, obviously, to see the first report on party funding before at least the local government elections later on this year. So expecting that document to come out. As the IEC, how do you sort of expect voter behavior to change or to remain the same, if that's the case, once this information comes out?
Well, it is our view that voters will appreciate the release of the quarterly reports on the disclosures made by political parties and donors. And it is our belief that they'll take that into account into the political choices they make, which is really the import of this legislative innovation, to grant people an ability to assess whether given how the political funding machinery works, whether their choices for voting certain political parties remains valid. So it is enrich the electoral experiences of citizens in the final analysis.
Yeah, and just in terms of the parties then, obviously there is a direct impact there. Does it also sort of set annual limits on the amounts of funding that can be made to a party?
Certainly. All direct donations to political parties above 100,000 rands have to be disclosed, and that is a cumulative amount in a financial year. And there's a maximum ceiling of 15 million within one financial year that can be made directly to a political party.
All right, Mr. Mamabolo, that's all the time we have, but thank you so much for this clarity, Mr. Mamabolo from the Independent Electoral Commission.